Buckle up, mother truckers, and welcome back to you, mother truckers. This week, we got a pit stop planned. Straight into the wild world of flash fiction, and let me tell you, these stories, they're going to mess with your mind, especially when it comes to something we all think we know. Time. Yeah, time itself.
Time travel, paradoxes, those what-if moments that keep you up at night.
Exactly. We've got two tales lined up that really dig into what happens when you start messing with the clock, so to speak.
Playing with fire, some might say.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay, first up, we're hitting the gas with a story called Time Out. Picture this. You got this teenage whiz kid. Genius, right? Well, he invents this gadget, this thing that can rewind time. But get this, only by 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Sounds almost underwhelming, doesn't it?
Yeah, until you really start thinking about it. I mean, 5 minutes ago, you could have dodged that awkward run-in at the coffee shop.
Or finally snagged that parking spot that always seems to get taken at the last second.
Right. The possibilities, they start stacking up. But in this story, our young inventor, he's got bigger fish to fry. He uses his time rewinder to prevent a major bus crash. Think about it. 43 lives saved, just like that. Poof.
Now that's a pretty impactful use of 5 minutes, a true heroic act on the surface at least.
Oh, absolutely. You know, saving lives, that's got to be a good thing, right? But hold on to your hats, folks, because the universe, or at least the folks who claim to be in charge of keeping it running smoothly, they ain't too happy about this whole time tampering business.
Ah, yes, the infamous Guardians. Self-appointed protectors of the cosmic timeline, always lurking in the shadows, waiting to pounce.
These Guardians, they swoop in, and our teenage hero, he finds himself in this courtroom. And it ain't no ordinary courtroom either, this place. Older than dirt. Older than the dinosaurs, even. And who's the judge? Time itself? I ain't kidding. The charge. Disrupting the natural order. And their argument, get this, they claim that the bridge collapse, the one he prevented, well, it was meant to happen. A pivotal event, they call it.
A necessary tragedy for the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, they lay down this whole philosophy. Consequences breed caution. Pain ignites progress. Even go so far as to say, sometimes tragedies must unfold so others may flourish. It's heavy stuff, man. Makes you wonder, right? Are we just pawns in some cosmic game, or do we actually have a say in how things go down?
It's a question that has haunted philosophers and theologians for centuries. The idea of free will versus determinism, the notion that perhaps our lives are part of some grand design we can't fully grasp.
Right, like were those lives on that bus somehow meant to be lost, all for some bigger purpose we can't even fathom?
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Sacrificing the few for the potential benefit of the many.
But you know what? Our inventor kid, he's not buying it, not one bit. His defense. It's pretty straightforward, pretty human. Yeah, shaping them into roadkill, he says. And he remembers, really remembers the faces on that bus. The old woman lost in her book, the kid practically bouncing out of his seat with excitement. It becomes this question of how do you weigh those individual lives, those stories, against some abstract idea of fate or destiny?
It's that classic conflict, the tangible versus the abstract, the human instinct to protect life against the cold logic of some cosmic calculus.
Exactly. It's like, can you really put a price tag on a human life, even if it's for the greater good?
It certainly challenges our assumptions about the supposed impartiality of the universe.
So time itself, it poses a question to the kid. What have you learned from this disruption? And his answer, it's really profound. He says that changing time isn't always the answer. That sometimes the greatest fix isn't erasing the bad, it's preparing for it.
That's a pretty significant shift in perspective from simply trying to undo what he perceived as wrong to recognizing the possibility of influencing events in a different way.
Yeah, and it completely throws the Guardians for a loop. Instead of punishment, they give him this new timepiece, even more powerful than the last one. But here's the catch. It only goes forward.
Forward only. No more rewinds, no more second chances.
Nope. His new gig. Not to fix the past, but to guide the future. Offering subtle warnings, nudging things in the right direction. Like there's this train that suddenly gets delayed, avoiding a derailment. Or a sprinkler system that mysteriously gets fixed right before a fire breaks out.
It makes you wonder about all those close calls we've had in our own lives, doesn't it? Were they just lucky breaks, or was there something else at play?
Right. I mean, how many times have you just missed something bad happening?
Food for thought, to say the least.
Okay, so we've talked about trying to prevent the past, but now we're going to dive headfirst into stealing from it.
Stealing from time, that's a new one.
Oh yeah, get ready for this. Our next story is called Temporal Heist. Forget your usual bank robbery stuff, your bags of cash and diamonds. This vault, it holds something way more valuable, moments in time. We're talking Tuesday afternoons, the sound of birds singing, even the frickin' birth of SARS. History itself, all locked up tight.
A vault filled with moments. That's quite the image.
Right. So we got Lucy, our main character. She's a safecracker, but not your average lockpick and vault blasting type. Her specialty, time. She figures out how to crack this vault, finding a weak spot, a fractured second left over from some forgotten war. And with her crew, Sarah and Alex, they step right into history.
A fractured second. It's fascinating to think that even the smallest imperfections in time could be exploited.
Yeah, and they quickly find out that messing with time on this scale, it ain't a walk in the park. Suddenly, things start going haywire. Sarah's childhood home, gone, vanished, replaced by nothing but barren wasteland.
And Alex, what happens to him?
Alex, his accent, it starts shifting. One minute he sounds like he's from New York, the next it's like he's straight out of London. It's like his whole identity is unraveling right before their eyes.
Talk about consequences. It's as if by taking those moments, they're severing the threads that connect them to who they are.
Yeah, it turns into this desperate scramble to put things back the way they were. It really makes you question how much of who we are is tied to the specific moments of our past.
It raises profound questions about the nature of memory, identity, and the very flow of time. If our past is altered, do we fundamentally change as well?
But just when you think things can't get any crazier, Alex, he remembers something from his original timeline. A cure for his mother's disease. A cure that no longer exists now that they've messed with the timeline.
Now that's a moral dilemma for the ages. The chance to save a loved one, but at the potential cost of unraveling reality as they know it.
Right. He's faced with this gut-wrenching choice. Personal gain versus the stability of, well, everything. It makes you think, what would you do in that situation? What's more important, one life or the integrity of the timeline itself?
It really puts a human face on the dangers of temporal manipulation. It's no longer just a theoretical exercise. It's a matter of life and death, of personal sacrifice, and potentially devastating consequences.
In the end, they decide to leave the vault empty-handed, walk away with nothing but the terrifying memory of how close they came to destroying it all. But Lucy, she finds something in her pocket. A stolen moment, a flash of sunlight, a melody she's never heard before. Just a tiny glimpse of what could have been.
It really drives home this idea that reality is made up of these countless little moments, and those moments, they're precious, man, fragile. And before they part ways, Alex, he raises a toast. He says, "We steal from time sometimes, it steals right back."
A sobering thought, isn't it? A reminder that time, even when we try to manipulate it, ultimately holds the upper hand. So after all that time traveling and timeline tampering, what's sticking with you? In Time Out, we had this unsettling idea that tragedy might actually serve a purpose, right? But then our inventor, he goes from trying to erase the bad to finding ways to guide the future.
A more subtle form of intervention, perhaps, working within the framework of time rather than trying to force it to bend to his will.
Exactly. So what do you think? Is it better to try and prevent every bad thing from happening, or is it more about giving people the tools to face those challenges, to come out stronger on the other side?
And with that forward-moving timepiece, what kind of chain reaction has he set in motion? What events have been subtly altered as a result of his interventions?
Right. Those are some deep questions right there. And then in Temporal Heist, man, the consequences of messing with time, they were so real, so personal. The vanishing home, the shift in identity.
It really emphasizes how deeply our past is intertwined with our present, with who we are at our core. And the moral dilemma Alex faces, it's one that many of us might struggle with. That temptation to use such power for personal gain, even knowing the potential risks.
Yeah, where do you draw the line? What's worth risking the whole damn timeline for?
These stories, while brief, pack a punch, don't they?
No doubt about it. They make you think about time, about consequence, and about how fragile this whole existence thing really is. It's like they're saying even the smallest changes can have these ripple effects, and maybe the real lesson isn't in trying to rewrite what's already happened, but in being mindful of how we shape what's to come.
It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and approaching the flow of time with a sense of humility and responsibility.
What about you? What moments in your life, big or small, do you think have really shaped who you are today? And if you had a chance to peek into the future, would you take it?
Those are questions worth pondering indeed. Do we define ourselves by our past, or are we constantly evolving, shaping our future with every choice we make? And if we could see what lies ahead, would it truly benefit us, or would it rob us of the journey, the lessons learned along the way?
Man, that's the stuff that keeps you thinking, ain't it? Thanks for taking this pit stop with us into the mind-bending world of flash fiction, folks. And hey, don't forget to rate and follow you mother truckers for more wild stories and captivating mysteries.
Until next time, keep those engines revving and your eyes on the road ahead. You never know what twists and turns await you on the highway of time.
We'll catch you on the next wild ride.